Hello and welcome to the Penal channel. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're still here and you've been here for a long time, thanks for joining us again. We really appreciate the support. If you could drop the stream a like before we start. Also, if you're new around here, drop it a subscription as well to the channel. And finally, after the stream, make sure you drop a comment, comment any thoughts on the stream or anything to do with Aston Villa. I'm joined here tonight with my bro. There's a few people in the chat already, so we'll just quickly introduce them. Andy, thanks for joining us. He says up the Villa, and Deontay says happy Friday up the Villa. Thanks for joining us both, bro. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, bro. How about yourself?
Yeah, really good. We're here for the match preview. Everton on Sunday, big game. Premier League's football's back. Feels like it's been a while since we played against Burnley, to be honest. So glad it's back. Spendon also joins us. Says big up, Spendon. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, big game coming up this Sunday. We go to Goodison Park, a place where we've had a decent record the last few seasons. A different side, obviously, with Sean Dyche now in charge. Had a massive points deduction this season, and they really had a good spell of form. Really went on a good run of form. The last three Premier League games haven't been so great. They've lost the last three. Also, draws in the cup games as well. So yeah, they're not in the best of form coming into this one, but they've definitely picked up from where they were the start of last season, that's for sure. And since Dyche has come in, it has been an upward trajectory in comparison to where they were going. What are your thoughts on the game, bro?
Yeah, just to touch on Everton, bro. I'll be real. Everton are a good side. They've had a points deduction this season that you touched on, so their league position is quite low in the table. But I think even without the points deduction, I feel like they were in a bit of a false position as well. Like they create chances, they hardly concede that many chances. So in my eyes, I'm seeing this as like a top 10 clash, to be honest. Like these should be top half. They're a decent side, bro. And if you look at our record against Everton since we've been promoted, we haven't lost to them in the league.
Yeah.
So we're a bit of a bogey side for them. But I think this is the best Everton side we'll be facing since promotion, no doubt. Like they're a good team under Dyche, and Dyche is a decent manager, man.
Yeah. They'll potentially be without Dwight McNeil for this one. Obviously, Idrissa Gueye gone to AFCON, so he won't be available as well. But I expect potentially Abdoulaye Doucouré returns from injury. I know he's been out for a few weeks. Obviously, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's suspension got overturned. For me, wasn't a red card in that FA Cup game anyway, so he'll be available for the game. So yeah, there'll be a few omissions, but apart from that, they're going strong. I think Ashley Young's returned from training as well, so he'll be available whether he starts or not. It's another option that they do have. It's another option that they do have. So it'll be interesting to see how they're lined up because obviously, the start of this season we absolutely smoked them 4-0, battered them, but then a week and a bit later in the cup, it was a totally different game. And okay, we rested a few players, but they set up in a totally different style and system. And yeah, they really caught us out that game and ended up beating us 2-1 at Villa Park. So it will be interesting to see how they line up because I think with that game, they went more to a three at the back. I think Michael Keane came in for that within that game. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they do go to that tomorrow and start with a 3, or if they continue with the 4-3-3 they're going to be playing with Jack Harrison, and obviously Dan Juma will potentially come in from McNeil on the left side.
Yeah, McNeil, I'm happy to see him not play against us. You know how much I rate McNeil. Got a little soft spot for him. I don't think he's an amazing player, but he is always dangerous. Calvert-Lewin, it wasn't a red card, but I was actually a bit gutted to see that get rescinded. He's a player that he doesn't always score for Everton, but you know he'll get a chance or two chances. And on any day, them chances can get taken. So I was actually hoping to see him miss the game. So that'll be a big plus for them as well. Idrissa Gueye is a big miss, but Doucouré coming back's massive for them. He's been one of their best players this season. He's been getting like loads of chances and goals in this Dyche system, and I don't know what he's turned him into. It's crazy. He's like late time runs into the box. So yeah, bro, honestly, that 4-0 win in retrospect is looking like one of our best results of the season. Because when that game happened at the time, we just thought, okay, business is normal.
This is Everton, yeah.
Yeah, this is Everton. We'll bounce back. But man, if you look at some of their results this season and their performances, bro, they've been a good side. So yeah, that result looking back, that was a big result.
Yeah, it was indeed. Yeah, they've got a few very decent results this season. Beating West Ham at the Olympic Stadium. You've got the drew with Brighton. I thought they played well against United, and that was one of those where it
Yeah,
could have
they
gone
got
either
unlucky.
way.
Yeah,
It wasn't a 3-0
that's
game at all. Smashed Newcastle 3-0. I remember watching that game as well. Also beating Palace. So they've picked up some good results as well along the way. And within that, they've played in their last three. They've played, Wolves away, which we struggled to get points on. They ended up losing 3-0 in the end. And I think that was one of the performances where they've let themselves down out of the
yeah, they were
last five or
trash. They were
six. They
trash that
weren't they
game.
weren't great that game. But lost 3-1 to City, albeit the City game they took the lead and they did have opportunities and they were very good at the back. And then the Spurs game as well, where they had potential to get something from that game.
Bro,
So yeah,
Spurs fans left that game saying, "Wow, we got away with that."
oh,
They got battered that game. Everton
they
deserved to
did,
win. So,
they did.
bro, good side, man, and we're gonna have to be at our best. And luckily,
Yeah,
as we'll move on to, we're getting some of our key players back,
yeah.
which is
So
perfect for this game. So,
amazing, really, and big news coming from the Unai Emery press conference today. But first, I'll state Unai Emery. Congratulations, about time. One man of the month this year in the Premier League.
bro,
Much deserved. It
overdue.
was about time we got it. So fully deserved Unai. And so that'll be a lift going into this one. Getting some recognition. I know we'll just probably brush that off and we won't even really consider it. He'd done the pictures and that would be it. But it's nice to see anyway that he has been recognised for what he's delivered for Aston Villa, especially this season. And with the results against Arsenal and Man City, I think he was a shoo-in for it, considering the record as well.
Yeah, I saw some Liverpool fans talking about Klopp being robbed. Sure, up, man. Sure, up. Listen, for that Manchester City performance alone, the
He should
award
win
was
manager
deserved. And it's
because no
almost
other
like
team's
Emery's.
done that to Man City under Pep.
It's
Yeah,
almost like Emery's getting this award for missing out on previous awards as well. Like, look where Villa are in the table. He's the best
yeah.
manager in the league on performance this season in terms of expectations and the reality. So, yeah, this award's been overdue, man. Could you imagine Emery not getting a Manager of the Month award throughout the entire season
No,
or
well, it's
something
long
ridiculous
overdue.
like that?
It's long overdue. It's
Not
about
robbed at
time he
all.
got
The
it.
Man City performance beat Arsenal, beat Brentford. I get it. We haven't been performing our best lately, but nah, it's an overdue award,
Yeah,
100%.
facts. So going into that, going into his press conference today, he announced that both Youri Tielemans and Paul Torres had trained this week, which is amazing. What we needed, the lift and the boost we needed, as well as now Boubacar Kamara's back in Premier League action as well. So there's potential to go with a side that started against Man City, apart from Luca Digne, but Alex Moreno will be in for that. So it's exciting times, man. We'll see what condition Tielemans and Powell are in. I imagine potentially Powell will be more required to start over Youri, even though I think Youri does get into the side if he's fully fit. But potentially, I think because Youri's been out a bit longer as well, possibly Powell might be in a better situation to come straight back into the side, and Youri will operate from off the bench. How do we approach this one, bro? In what way do we manipulate the way Everton's set up and get a result at Goodison Park?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting today. Emery went into a bit of tactical detail about how he sees the game playing out. He's expecting Everton to press us high. He's expecting them to be compact. And Emery, as always, wants us to impose our style onto Everton. So I think it's going to be normal service resumed. We'll build up in the free. We'll try and play out. We'll try and bait the press. And we'll try and find spaces in the middle and get out the pitch quick. So it's going to be on our defenders, really, being able to anticipate them pressing us and dealing with it and finding the correct passes, which is why Pau Torres being fit is such a massive boost and why my confidence has kind of gone up a little bit in comparison to if Pau wasn't available for the game. I think the midfield battle is going to be massive as well. Anana Decore against Kamara and Louise, that's going to be massive into seeing who wins the most duels, who can dominate the play. And then, Watkins up front, first their defenders is going to be interesting. How about you?
Yeah, it
How do you
really
see it
is.
playing out?
Yeah, similar. I think they'll obviously try and catch us in the transition. That's how they set up. And it'll be, again, about our ability on the ball. They're very stout in defence. So Sean Dyche side is very stout in defence. They've got a very good young up-and-coming centre-back in Jared Brantwaite. He's been quality
Facts.
this season. James
Facts.
Tarkowski's no mug either. He's quality centre-back when he's on it. And Jordan Pickford, solid goalkeeper as well. Mikalenko's having a fairly decent season. Whether it's Seamus Coleman or Ashley Young playing there, they're going to provide. They're going to give it their all and, really look to put whoever's on the left-hand side under pressure. And even if Moreno's getting forward, they'll potentially double up and Jack Harrison will drop that back even further, or one of the centre midfielders will come across. I imagine Anana will be starting in the middle of the park alongside potentially James Garner coming into the team. If Abdullah Doucouré is fit, I imagine he plays a bit further forward. And then obviously Danjuma will be looking to nail down a starting place because he hasn't really been starting games. It's been Dwight McNeil and Jack Harrison. And what I remember for the game at Villa Park is Danjuma, when he came on, was their main threat at the time. He was a huge threat and he was causing Matty Cash at the time a lot of problems. So, surprising that Danjuma hasn't been able to work his way into the side. Obviously, hasn't been good enough to do so. But he'll be seeing this as an opportunity now with Dwight McNeil being out to really stamp down his authority and become a starter for the side. So, really interesting.
What I was going to say about Everton, what I love about Everton is they always end up signing players we were linked with, so we can always see how it works out in the end anyways. That's just like a little project where Villa are linked with a player, they'll go Everton and then we can just see and work out if they're good enough or not. Danjuma, we were linked with. McNeil, we were linked with. We went with Bailey instead. Jack Harrison, we were linked with. All these players. So, it hasn't worked out for Danjuma. I've seen Leon. Leon are interested in signing him. So, we'll see if he even gets any minutes. Anana as well. If he's starting, his head might be in a different space with links to Arsenal. Those links are strong as well. So, hopefully that can work to our advantage if his mindset isn't correct or at Everton. So, it's going to be interesting, man.
Yeah, so we really need to get on the ball if we are looking to play. And I really do hope Youri Tielemans is in a shape where he can start, because I'd be looking to go back to how we set up against Manchester City, within Youri Tielemans just playing just behind Watkins on that side, Bailey occupying the right-hand side, and McGinn going back onto the left with Dougie and Kamara in the middle, because I think that really worked well against City. And, we got the victory against Arsenal, even though it wasn't as good, but potentially that was down to tiredness. We'd only played a few days before that. But really, really, really looking forward to it, man. Really, really looking forward to it. Can't wait. So, how do you think we'll line up then? What do you think the system will be? And the starting
so I think Martin is in goal. Moreno obviously starts. Digne returned to training this week, but he's not fit enough to be in the squad, so Moreno starts. Pau Torres, he's trained this week. I hope he's back. He's crucial to how we build up, and he raises the level of everyone else around him. I think Carla starts. Everton are going to sit back in their shape, and we'll need a player to pass between the lines. So I think Carla starts, and I think Konza plays right back.
Yep.
You agree with that, or do you think Cash will start?
No, I agree. It will be that. If Pau Torres is back, potentially if Pau Torres isn't fit to start, potentially it will be Clement Longley starting and then Matty Cash coming in and Konza going to right back. I could see that potentially happening, because I think the relationship between Carlos and Longley hasn't, albeit we beat Burnley, it doesn't seem quite all there, to be honest. So
No, I hear that. On the left, I don't think Tielemans comes straight back into the lineup. I think he'll need match fitness and game time to get into that. He hasn't started since Arsenal, which is about like 6 games away. So I think Ramsey gets the nod at left midfield. Luiz, Kamara, centre midfielders, and McGinn on the right.
McGinn on the right, yeah.
And then I think he goes
Bailey Watkins.
Sorry, I was just thinking in my head then, I've missed somebody, and I think he goes Bailey Watkins up top.
Do you think there's potential for Diaby to start?
Yeah, could be. He could go Bailey. He could go Bailey and Diaby, McGinn off the left and drop Ramsey. It all depends on how Emery feels about Ramsey and if he feels he's been up to scratch in the performances he's had. He was better against Middlesbrough, obviously taking the opposition into consideration, but he hasn't been the player we know Ramsey could potentially be. So that'll be an interesting decision to make, man. Because Diaby and Bailey when together do combine quite well.
Yeah. If it is Seamus Coleman or Ashley Young on that right side, that presents an opportunity to put someone, say, if it is a Jacob Ramsey, who he can take on and progress the ball against. So it will be interesting if who he's playing off the left hand side, or even if it's McGinn. You want someone, or using Alex Moreno to his full potential. We know what Alex Moreno can do when he has space and he has the opportunity to take a fullback on. We should be looking to really dominate that area and pen them back on their right hand side, and give Moreno the opportunity to take on the fullback 1v1. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, let's just take a look at the comments then. Got the good one here. Andy says, got invited onto the Rio Ferdinand podcast. I think I saw you on there, Andy, and you were really good. You were shouting up Emery and Villa and making sure they remembered and recognised how well we're doing. Yeah, I'm sure I'm seeing bits, Andy. So yeah, big up yourself, because you were really good and you were really shouting them up. You're shouting Villa up, yeah. So that was really good, man. He goes, it was there with Anton Ferdinand and Danny Murphy. Then met Gabriel Bonner Hall. We got on the same train and chatted for 40 minutes. Yeah, you had a good week, man. But yeah, you did really well on that, and big up yourself for that. Michael says, just settling down after being taxi driver to my son. That's how it goes, Michael. That's how it goes with the kids. Michael also says, Villa vs Everton, the original founding members game. Yes, it is indeed. Most games within the league.
Sky loved that one.
Huge game.
Sky loved that one. I'm pretty sure Everton Villa is the first game Sky made sure to try and have, because just so they can just rinse that
statistic. Yeah.
I love that.
Colin Sloan, thanks for joining us, Colin. He says, I would assume Powell comes off the bench just because he may not be 100% fit. Yeah. Well, he's had, 2 weeks off. He only came on against Burnley because Lenglet was ill. So he's had 2 weeks off now. Didn't even travel for the Middlesbrough game. So, yeah, we'll see what condition he was in. Potentially, he was in a state where he could have played against Middlesbrough, but they just thought, you know what, we're not even going to risk it and give him another week.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's available. Yeah, hopefully he's available to start. But, yeah, I can see where you're coming with that as well. And as Marcus says, Powell makes a huge difference. I think he's a
massive difference.
He's integral to how we play.
Well, I can go there and say I think he's one of my favourite signings for Villa in my lifetime. Genuinely,
he's right up there.
Quality, and the way he just suits Emery's system like a glove. It's unreal to see, and it took him coming out of the side for more fans to realise like how crucial he is.
Yeah, facts. Colin also says completely miss Powell a lot. Yeah, we do. When he's not there, we really miss him. And Mark says he's a class player, for sure he is. And not just Powell coming back now. We've got Kamara coming back for a Prem game. Although he played in the FA Cup, his first Prem game back, which is another huge miss. So yeah, I'm hoping we see, if Powell, Kamara, and even if Tielemans come in, just the style of play, the speed of play to quicken up, especially when they feel themselves into the game a bit and get used to the pace, even though they've been missing a bit. But yeah, I do expect a better style of play. Oh, well, that's what I'm hoping for anyway.
We're getting all our players back, but the media will tell you Villa don't have an injury crisis. So.
I know. But it's always how it's going to be portrayed. And the little old Villa, man, they're doing all right. And because I think they don't realise how much depth there is within the squad, I think it took half a season for a lot of people to actually identify and look at our squad and think, oh, okay, there's a number of names here.
Yeah,
so when someone is missing, they don't really pay too much attention to it, even though we'll know how much they are. They haven't been paying too much attention to how we play. Because I don't see Pau Torres getting brought up enough within the general consensus, and he's probably been one of our best players this season, if not our best.
I agree with that as well. You never really
for a team that's second. For a team that's second, so yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
You never really see Pau in like the top 5 centre back talks in the season or something like that. It's like he's a ghost or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Let them keep sleeping anyway.
Facts.
That's fine.
Facts. Andy says, yeah, cheers. So I wasn't having them put down about the team. I know you're going in. Are you going in? Everyone, if you haven't seen it yet, check that out. It's on Rio Ferdinand's channel. Andy was going in back in Villa. He's sick. Colin says, did Kamara's wife have their child yet? I thought I heard she was pregnant, but we might miss a couple of weeks after that. Is that the case? I don't know. I'm not too sure, Colin, but if that is the case,
pregnant,
yeah, potentially when they do have the child, he might miss a game or two. But footballers generally these days, they don't look to miss games unless obviously it's on the day of the game or the evening of the game, they usually find themselves back in training and playing. Luckily, if it is next week, we're not playing. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Michael says, I believe Everton have played one more season than Villa in the top division. No one else comes close to us. I want them to go down so we could overtake them.
I need Everton to go down.
Yeah, they've got to taste it.
Yeah, man.
They've got to taste it. Just have a little taste. If you come straight back up, fair enough. Because I like Everton as a club, I really do.
That's all I heard when we went down.
It.
It's just like staying in the Premier League's not for everyone. I was like, oh, okay, is that what you're doing?
And they've been very close the last couple of seasons. To be fair to them, though, they're relatively good when they've got the deduction. So. Yeah, but Everton fans are happy with that. And obviously, of course, they're moving to it's new stadiums next season, isn't it? 24-25?
No, I think they've got one more.
Or is it 25? Or is it 25-26?
Yeah, I think they've got one more season at Goodison.
Okay, so yeah, so they want to be a Premier League side for that, of course. Of course, we'll do. But yeah, I have a lot of time for Everton. We've had a lot of really good games against Everton over the years and frauding games. And Villa posted the other day the 3-2 Ashley on game, and one of the best games ever seen watching. You know,
it's one of the best
moments at the end
in Premier League history.
Firstly, because Les got spagged 2 and not been on the winning side, or not even got a point. That was huge. And then also just the way the goals came about. Mikel Arteta giving the ball away. When you watch that back, it's so jokes because Arteta has a horrendous touch. Lets it slide under his foot, and then Gabby plays it round to Young, who knocks it past the defender and slots it off. Potentially, it was Tim Howard in goal at the time.
Sidwell letting off rockets.
Yeah, Sidwell's screamer as well. Yeah,
they're all on podcasts now. All these players. That's what's mad.
I know. Yeah, we're all chatting about their former years anyway. Yeah, facts. Gary says, "Hi lads. He's not having a child. His wife is should play unless it's their first. I guess.
Old school Gary.
No, I hear it, but they do have already have one. So I don't even think it's their first.
You ever hear that Roy Keane quote? And it's just like, well, he's not giving birth, is he? When they ask him, like, is he available for Ireland or something?
That's the Gary mentality, man. That's the Gary mentality. So yeah, bro. Score predictions. Do one. Might as well do one. What do you think?
Bro, I think it will be 1-1. I think it'll be a 4-1. Yeah, I think they'll take the lead and we'll equalise, and both teams will get better chances. But I think it will be a draw.
Yeah, I think it will be a draw as well. I was going to say 1-1, but it all depends on the levels of fitness of the two key men. If Pau Torres is starting, then he does change the way we play. It's just a fact. He dictates how we play. So yeah, I've gone for 1-1 because I think Everton will be up for it, and they haven't got a result in the last 3 within the league. They won't be looking to make it 4. So yeah, I've got a few scores in. Colin's gone 2-1 Villa. Michael's also gone 2-1 Villa. So yeah, fairly tight, and it will be a tight one.
It'll be interesting if we take the lead, and that could work in our favour. Like, I know, obviously, whoever takes the lead obviously has the favour, but in terms of them coming to press us even more, leaving gaps. So we'll see, man.
We'll see. Deontay's gone, can't decide between Everton, Villa 1 or 2-1 Villa. Colin said, doesn't lose to Dyche. I hope that continues, mate.
As long as it's not in the League Cup.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, bro. Yeah, it's a big game. Few other things that have happened this week, bro. What would you like to get into?
Just quotes coming out today saying Villa are a bit restricted by FFP. They're monitoring ins and outs and they're being quite cautious about it. That's the brief that we're getting from journalists that work for The Athletic, journalists that work for Birmingham Live. So Villa operating on a 1-in, 1-out policy. That's been the quote that's been pushed today. So it might take sales for us to be able to start getting numbers in. Villa normally do their business early in the window. I mean, we signed Moreno last season on the 11th of January. So you'd think the later into the window, the less likely it probably is for us to start signing players.
Even summer windows.
Yeah, facts. We get our business done early. That's the theme of Villa. Ornstein saying Villa looking to have a quiet window with maybe a few loans in as well. So that seems to be the brief, man. What do you think about that?
I just think it's either Unai's deciding the players that we're looking at aren't good enough, and he doesn't feel like they improve us, or we do have some sort of restrictions and restraints. Either or's a possibility. Obviously, you've seen the Newcastle chief exec come out and state how they feel they're going to have to sell one of their players for big money to even be able to spend what they require, even though they've previously spent 400 million over the last 4 windows, I think it is. But yeah, we've had the benefit of having the Grealish money and the way that's helped us in regard to FFP from that, kind sales. Now with Aaron Ramsey and obviously Cameron Archer. So yeah, I think we've got some space, but I really think just doesn't think the main targets are good enough, and potentially he feels that we've got enough in the squad to do what we want to achieve. Now, whether that's be Champions League football or winning a trophy, potentially we'll just have to wait. We'll have to wait until a Chambers, a Traore, potentially a Dendoncourt, because that was rumours of him leaving in the summer, or even a youngster, Eric Brunham or someone like that does go before we make a move. But I feel like the targets he wants to get, they're not available in January. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, just on a broader point about like FFP more. I think this is why it's important that Villa from now on as well are a bit smarter with their business. I think in the last 2 to 3 years, whilst we've got some gems like Kamara, Douglas Luiz, Pau Torres, etc., we have wasted quite a lot of money. I think we could admit that as well, not just in terms of transfer fee, but wages especially. I mean, if you just look at the Coutinho deal, he's got a contract till 2026, and he's already been loaned out to other clubs. He's a high earner. We spent 17 million on him as well. Barely played that much. So I think it is important to be smarter with our business decisions, because in the end, in the future, it can restrict you even more. I know some fans can say when like you complain about a transfer, oh, it's not my money, why should I care? And I get that. But in the future as well, it can stop you from wanting to act in the market how you'd want to. So I do think we'll be a bit smarter now, hopefully, in the future, by signing maybe younger profiles on less wages with this similar talent level.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, that's how I feel we'll operate, and we'll be looking to get rid of more than we bring in currently. Now, players like Traore and Chambers, they rarely see minutes, rarely.
Yeah.
So, and Traore's availability, it's poor. So, getting rid of those, it's fair enough. It's fair enough. And if it does take 2 of those to go for someone to come in who Emery sees as beneficiary to the squad to push, then yeah, I'm all for that. I really am. Got a few comments here. Michael says, I think more will go than come in. Yeah, I think I agree with that. And January is very difficult to get quality players. It is. It's tough. It's January windows. It's rubbish, man. It is rubbish. Gary said a few pods have gone for an Everton win, especially if they had Decore back. I'd take a draw, although we need to win. Yeah. It's going to be a tough game. It is going to be a tough game. T1, thanks for joining us. The Jamaica flags, big up yourself. Thanks for joining. Gary says, I see Spurs made their move in the window. Do we encounter that? Spurs are in a different position, totally different position to us. They received 100 million for Harry Kane not too long ago. So, that's a homegrown talent that's come through their academy. So literally a Jack Grealish. So I'm sure that boosts their profile, and they obviously generate a higher revenue as well. So with that, they'll have a lot more room to maneuver in regards to FFP. So I imagine let's not concentrate on what other clubs do and just concentrate on what we do, because everyone's in totally different scenarios in regard to that. With who they've got, Timo Werner, I don't really rate. Potentially could do a job for Angel. Obviously, Angel's identified him, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. And Goodison, I've not really watched enough of.
I'm not the biggest. I see why they've signed him, but I don't think he's going to be anything spectacular. Like, his passing numbers are quite low, but he's rapid and he can cover ground. So I think that's why they've signed him. Jacob Tanswell on the Athletic, he said something in his article today. Yeah, he was something along the lines of Villa might have to sell a Kamara or Louise in the future to be able to spend. How would you feel about that? And how much do you think it would affect our
What kind of
trajectory?
question you asking me?
It's a bit mad,
What,
bro. It's a bit mad because
well, do you think?
our policy's been raising money through academy sales, and that's been able to help us keep like a Martinez, a Kamara, a Louise, a Watkins. If the academy products dry up, do you know what I mean? There's going to have to be an alternative route.
Do you think that article was in line with what happened with the chief exec from Newcastle coming out and stating that they're going to have to sell one of their big players?
Yeah, I think
because they're
all
restricted
clubs
by FOP. So all clubs are going to be in similar situations.
Yeah,
It's not just
yeah,
like
yeah.
we've seen
I hear
Brighton
that,
sell
but
how many players
how do you
for
think-
that
how
amount.
would you feel about Villa doing it? Because
I think potentially, I think that's a reality. That is a possibility. I don't see how that. I don't see if you're not generating the money of the so-called big six or whatever, and how
yeah,
much revenue they generate in comparison. It's massive. There's massive differences. West Ham have only just sold their £100 million star player. Okay, they've reinvested, but they still had to do that process to reinvest, didn't they? And they've bought some quality players. You've seen through that, so there is potential for that to happen again. I wouldn't be surprised. I just have full faith in Emery that he'll identify what he needs if that were to be the case,
I
and
hope so.
whenever that point
I think
comes.
that would be my biggest worry. I mean, Munchie, I'm not the biggest fan of him at the moment, and being honest, he was Emery's third choice. He wasn't his first choice recruiter. So even Emery has slight doubts, otherwise he would have been his first choice. Since Munchie came in, well, it depends how you see Munchie. Do you give him credit for Pau Torres and Diaby, or do you say them deals already happening? I know he came after.
I have no
You don't
idea.
know, so you just gotta assume.
Yeah.
I'll assume, yeah. But the Lenglet and Zaniolo deals not giving me the greatest confidence. But he'll need a full summer for me to be able to judge and see where he's at. But my worry wouldn't be about selling. It would be more about can we adequately replace them, because there's always talent available in the market.
Yeah.
And there's always players that can come and go. So yeah,
I think we've got in terms of selling, I think we've got one of the best in the business. I can't lie. I think we'll have a lot of deals where we'll make decent money, and we'll have clauses within that, potentially more savvy than we have been. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how we go from there. But yeah, if it doesn't happen this January, oh well, we continue. We go as we go. We've got a strong squad. I believe we have a strong squad. If we get a few out that we require, then yeah, all good. Get them off the wage bill. But yeah, it doesn't. I'm not as worried as potentially or possibly others are. I know it's a time to strengthen, but there's no point strengthening with players that do not improve the team. It's just no point for strengthening for strength's sake. Potentially a loan move, but then I'm not sure if we're up to our loan allocation with Zaniolo and Lenglet currently at the club. I think it is two potentially. So yeah, there's no point strengthening for the sake of it. Or you get like a Bednarak or something. Do you know what I mean? When that happened, it wasn't a one, and you end up looking back on it and kind of regretting doing the move in the first place.
Yeah, I am worried though. I do feel we're missing some profiles, and I know January is a hard window, but even with our performances, you can tell the squad's getting a bit stretched already, and we might need a bit more dynamism injected into the squad. Be interesting to see if we can do loan with option to buys or obligations if we go down that route. If we've got a player that we really want, and the selling club know they'll get a fee in summer, that could be mad to see if they're working on something like that. But I hear what you're saying about buying for buying's sake. I'd never want that. But you'd also like to think they would have been looking at targets since summer.
It's not easy to get targets from summer.
I hear that. But what I'm saying is, though,
players might not want to leave.
You'd hope that they generate some sort of list or like short list that they'd have, and they go through that. But we'll see, man. But I think the squad needs one or two players. Even if it's on loan to the end of the season, even if it's a loan to the end of the season.
Yeah, my other point is, out of the clubs currently in the league, how many have signed players currently?
I hear that as well. I hear that.
So you've got Spurs and Sheffield
I
United
thought we're not like comparing other teams.
But it's the window. I feel like
the
market, the general market. It's not just Villa. You know what I mean? So yeah, it will be interesting.
I think we're missing profiles, man.
I think we definitely need another right back for sure. But if you're telling me we don't get a great right back and we get someone like a Jeremy Frimpong or someone of the level at calibre in the summer, then I'm not going to argue that. Gary says, hopefully Gerard panic buys to save his job and takes a few off us. Well, Alec, I don't know how you pronounce it, bro.
Latifa.
Atika, yeah, Alatifa. Our rumours Bertrand's been touted to go there, but whether there's any truth in that, I don't know. Colin says, let's get extra funds from Champions League. Yeah, definitely. If you qualify for Champions League, you get extra runs, additional revenue. Obviously, the sponsorship deal as well with Adidas will get additional revenue. But I did, in terms of revenue, commercial revenue within the ground and stuff like, not match day, but revenue in general, we're below, like, I saw something at the table the other day that stated we're below like Leicester and Leeds, and teams like that. West Ham were below. So there's a number of teams that generate a higher revenue than Villa do, and until we get those numbers up, it's really difficult. I can imagine it's really difficult to manoeuvre. And when we sell academy player products, I know the dream is for all academy players to come through the academy and start and developing the squad and go into the first team and represent. And you have like a number of academy players in there, but sometimes you just have to manage the books in that way. And regarding the Finners as one, I think that was definitely a right call. And if he goes on to blossom, then it's just one of those. But I don't think he's quite at the level yet to be a Premier League player. Now, could potentially go up with Middlesbrough and then be quality and then become one of those. But yeah, if it helps the books currently and where we're looking to go right now and the team that we are right now and where we're trying to compete, generate the revenue. Gary says, seems to be clubs are more concerned about top four than winning something due to finances. I take a trophy all day long. Nobody remembers top four qualifying after a couple of years. Why can't we do both? That's my feeling right now. I don't see why we can't do both this year and go for both. I mean, 2 trophies are still currently in. Okay, difficult trip to Chelsea, some would say. Is that a difficult trip at the moment? You could say it's not. Conference League, we've got to be looking to win that, or at least get to a semi-final within that, and then within the league, why can't we? And potentially the coefficient will go down to 5th place, and we're currently 9 points away from the next team, West Ham. I think they're on 34. Yeah, we're on 42, so 8 points away. So if that is the case, then we can try and compete on all fronts for sure. What are your thoughts on that?
On the top 4 FFP?
No, top 4 winning the cup, or do you feel we can compete on all fronts? Conference League.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, I think everyone always says focus on the league when you come out of the FA Cup, but how has that worked for us? And them ones. I think they're not mutually exclusive. I think everything can happen. I think you build confidence by winning games, and I think you increase the competitiveness of the squad if there's big games to play for, like getting far in the Conference League, getting to like maybe an FA Cup semi-final. So yeah, go for all the cups. And everyone said our Europa Conference League participation would impact our league form, and that's kind of been put in the mud a bit. So yeah.
Look at Newcastle last year. Newcastle got to a League Cup final, the final they should have won, and qualified for the Champions League. So
yeah, facts.
It's possible. It's very much possible. Yeah. Anything else, bro?
Luca Dean's been linked to Al Hilal. Luca Dean's one of our highest earners, but I did see Fabrizio recently report saying they're going after Renard Lodi, so that might kill that move.
I saw Rafael Guerrero be mentioned as well.
Yeah, that's a link. But in terms of actually like being in advanced talks, I think they're going to get Renard Lodi, so I think that one.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Good. I see both sides. Digne's been decent for his standards this season. He was starting a lot of games for us. On the other side, he's our highest earner at the club. For a left back, where we have someone maybe that you could argue is actually first place in Moreno, I see both sides, especially if we are struggling to balance the books a bit. It depend on how much they're offering. But yeah, as I said, it looks like that one's not going to happen.
Yeah. A few other things. What about the FA Cup game being moved to a Friday night and not even being on TV? What?
Madness,
I'm joking.
madness. And
Absolute joke.
they've scheduled the best game of the window of the round the same time we play, so you can't even watch that game anyway.
I was considering
Madness.
going that Chelsea game, but I don't know now. I might still go, but the way the travel's going to be in Friday night out of London, it's going to be a nightmare. But yeah, absolute madness. They've changed that one, and then it's not even you can't even view it on the TV as well.
Yeah, I thought for sure we'd
It's
be
not
on
the
TV
best.
because some of the ties aren't even that good.
Exactly. There's a number of good ties that aren't on TV. I, it's a. I imagine the Baggies game will be put on if Wolves do qualify.
Nah, they've put it on anyway.
Yeah, they put it on anyway.
They've
Just
took the chance. Yeah, they've took the
they
risk. So
risked it. They
they'll be
risked
like
it on Wolves.
praying Brentford don't win. But I'd like to see that game. I'd love to see West Brom.
Yeah,
Wolves, like.
so yeah.
But just to
Does it
speak
make you
about,
miss a derby when you see
oh
that
yeah,
being drawn? Yeah,
for sure.
it does, doesn't it?
When,
No
when,
matter how
when
nervous you get on derby day or whatever, you miss it.
honestly, I didn't speak about it on the last pod, but watching that FA Cup draw, yeah, the adrenaline and nervousness, we hadn't experienced it in what nearly a decade of being in the fourth round.
Yeah.
I was nervous, and some of the teams coming out, you see, like I don't know, like Swansea. I think they got like someone rubbish, and you're like, oh my god, like all the teams that got drawn before Chelsea. I think I would have rather played than Chelsea, if that makes sense. Like they were all lower league sides, but it's not the worst draw. We didn't get City, so it's not that bad. That's my metric. If we don't get City, then it's a good draw. But yeah, I missed the derby. When I saw Hull Birmingham come out, I was just like, please, come on, just give us this game.
Yeah, we're meant to be, but still potential for it to happen. Could happen.
If we beat Chelsea, we've got a really good chance. That's when I start getting a little bit excited.
Yeah,
if we can beat Chelsea and just get past this, if we can get past this block. And
record says we can, but it's going to be tough. You know, it's going to be a tough game. Anything else, bro? Anything else on the agenda?
I think we've covered pretty much everything.
Yeah, I think that's it. And just looking forward. Bit weird the weekend now. Well, in the Premier League anyway. Obviously, Burnley Luton tonight. I'm not sure what the score is, but 2 games tomorrow, 2 games on Sunday, and then the other 5 games across the other weekend next week. So after this Everton game, there's a bit of a break until the Chelsea game, and then I think Newcastle to follow.
It happened last season as well. It's a compromise with managers complaining about game time and fans not being able to see football. I think it works both ways.
Yeah,
we get football both weekends, and the players get a bit of a break. I think Villa jet off to, is it Qatar that we jet off to after the Everton game?
So. Yeah.
That'd be good as well.
Nice break. Yeah, much deserved break, man. Been killing it. Well, yeah. Thanks for joining, bro. Everyone in the chat, thanks for joining. It's been a pleasure chatting to you all. Some great comments as well within that. We'll be doing the Everton match reaction after the game. We'll definitely be doing that on the Sunday night. So look forward to that. Again, if you could like the stream, drop a comment as well. If you're not watching us live, or even if you are, or if you're not, drop a comment after the video about some of the topics we talked about, or if you've got anything else to bring up. Love commenting back and having a discussion for the comments as well. And also, if you're new around here, drop a subscription. It'd be much appreciated. Just trying to broaden out the channel. So thank you all for joining. Bro, cheers for joining us, and up the Villa. Hopefully we get the 3 points against Everton at Goodison Park.